What's up everyone, and thank you for stopping by. Today's project is this Cub Cadet mower, and the problem is that it was given away for free because it wouldn't start after its last refueling. But before we take a good look at it, find out what's wrong with it, and try to fix it, we need to give it a good cleaning. That way when we do fix it in the next video, we won't get dirt in places where it's not supposed to be. I'll also take this chance to answer some of your questions that I often get, or at least some of the more interesting ones. There's a lot of questions, so let's get started. So the previous owner said they used it to mow their front yard, but after mowing part of their backyard, it ran out of fuel. So they put more into the tank, but when they tried to restart it, it wouldn't start. Instead of paying to have it fixed, they decided to get a new mower instead. They ordered one, and when it arrived, they posted this one up in the free section of an online marketplace. The weird thing was that when I got it home, I tried to start it, and it started right up, and I've used it several times since then. Although in the next video on this mower, things will change quite drastically. Now, this is the first Cub Cadet mower I've had the pleasure of working on, and I hate to say it, but it is a really good mower despite having a no-name overseas engine on it. I wish there had been an option to put a Honda, Kohler, or a Briggs on it though. If this engine ever has any serious issues in the future, I might consider doing a motor swap, but for now I'll just use it till it breaks, although something accidental would have to happen because as long as I use ethanol-free gasoline, change the oil every year, and don't run over anything that might damage the blade, it should last a long time. This mower looks to be in great shape, however, most often the worst part of a mower is what's under the deck. If I lift up the rear cover, you can see a glimpse of what it looks like underneath there, and it looks like there's quite a bit of compacted grass clippings that will need to be removed. And it looks like I'll be spending the majority of my time underneath the deck. Normally I would use a pressure washer to do this, but I'm going to clean it by hand just to show you that it's really not that tough. The biggest reason why you need to clean the underside of your deck is that the compacted grass will affect the way the mower works when mulching. I've seen this firsthand with my own Honda mower. This past spring, it had been raining every few days for a month, and I needed to mow the lawn. And when I did mow the lawn, it would be about a day after the last rain. And by the end of the month, I noticed the grass clippings weren't disappearing into the lawn like they normally do. That's when I looked under the deck to see that it had gotten quite compacted with wet grass. I cleaned the deck off, and after that, I didn't see the clippings sitting on top of the grass anymore. To start cleaning the wheels, I'm going to use an orange-based cleaner, then I'm going to agitate it. In the past, I would normally use a discarded toothbrush, but these wheel covers are quite large, so I'm going to use something a bit larger with some power. While I'm cleaning, I'll start answering some of the questions I've gotten in the last month or so. One of the most common questions that I get is, when will you do a face reveal? Now, this is a really tough question for me to answer. First off, these videos are about the machines that I fix for friends, coworkers, and family. It's not about me. I don't see the point in putting myself in the video as I'm not promoting myself, but only focusing on the machines. I understand that there are a lot of people out there that want to put a face to a voice that they're hearing, but I guess you'll just have to use your imagination because I don't see a face reveal coming anytime soon. I can think of at least one person on this platform who makes automotive content and is very popular that also doesn't reveal his face. I've wondered what he looks like, but I do respect his choice to not reveal his face and also his right to privacy. I say that now, but you never know. I might do a face reveal sometime in the future, but for right now, I'll keep it this way. The next question is about this channel and my other channel, Home Garage. The question is, why do you have two channels that basically do the same thing? The answer is that in the beginning, Home Garage started as a personal channel featuring my car, but as years went by, I left that interest behind me, and in 2016, I changed the channel to a small engine repair channel instead. I started to miss working on my car, but the cost to modify it was extremely high and it would take a lot of time. I then decided to repair small engines instead because it's quicker and costs a lot less to perform. I then decided to make a second channel, and to tie the two of them together, one would do the diagnostics while the other would deal with the repair. The reasoning was very simple. Let's say your mower won't start and you search for videos on fixing a mower that won't start. Now the problem is that there are multiple reasons for a mower not to start. The first channel would go through all the possibilities, and depending upon what the answers were to the questions I asked, you would then be directed to a video on the repair channel that dealt with those symptoms. For whatever reason, viewers did not like this setup or didn't understand what the video was doing. Some of the questions I would get were, so how do you fix it? Or, I want my 5 minutes back. I then decided to go back to diagnosing and repairing in the same video, if not broken into multiple parts because the video was too long. I didn't want to delete my second channel, so now I have two channels that basically do the same thing. I don't mind it though, and I have thought about starting a third channel that is partially or completely unrelated to this one. The next question is about cleaning parts on equipment. Why don't you clean everything before putting it back together? Now this comment has to do with a mower that I was working on, and when I put the air filter base back on, it still had some light dirt on its surface. They felt as though I should have cleaned it off to make sure it wouldn't hurt the engine. Now, I completely understand why they asked this question, but the answer is pretty simple. I didn't feel as though the dirt that was on the air filter base posed any danger to the engine. If I did think it was dangerous to the engine, I would have done something about it. To try to prevent these types of comments, I have made an effort to try and clean as much as I can, so there's a reduced chance for hurting the engine. The bigger issue here is time versus money. If you're paid to repair equipment on an hourly basis, I would hate to explain to someone that you charge them for an extra hour because of all the cleaning you had to do. However, if you're paid by the job and time isn't a factor, clean as much as you want. I really do appreciate the concern, and I did answer their comment appropriately. The next question is about ordering parts online. Is there a place you like to order your parts from? I have seen other channels promote online stores that they order from, and even though I understand why they do it, I don't feel that sort of obligation, so I'm not going to mention any of the stores by name. There are a lot of stores online to choose from, and you really can't go wrong if they have a reasonable return policy. The easiest answer I can give you is that you can find a part from any online store, then send them a message asking if that part will work for your piece of equipment. These online stores make money by selling parts, so if the part you're looking for isn't the right one, they'll find the right one and sell it to you. Now, if contacting them doesn't interest you, then do as much research as possible, find the part number yourself, and then search for that part number and order it. Don't worry, I understand someone's reluctance when it comes to asking for help. If you're having problems finding parts, you could go to a local supplier and ask for help. But I will say this, I have not been very happy with the service I've gotten with my local suppliers. They'll question the buyer in a less than respectful way about how they got these part numbers, or are less than friendly when doing their jobs. I don't blame them at all though. Customers are all different and some can be very rude. That's the reason why I started looking up parts myself and ordering them. There are plenty of popular online sites, and all you have to do is a search and they'll come up immediately. I think I may have talked about this topic before, but I don't mind talking about it again because I think it brings up a good point. Why don't you use an ultrasonic cleaner? Now, the interesting part about this question is as soon as I start using one on the channel, the questions will then turn to how do I clean the carb without using an ultrasonic cleaner? I think this brings up a good point. Most people don't have one, so the only choice they have when it comes to getting a carb working again is to order a new replacement. I do plan on getting one and using it on the channel. The issue is that the people who are watching who don't have an ultrasonic cleaner will then be forced to try and clean theirs by hand. So what do I plan on doing about that? I plan on using the ultrasonic only after I tried cleaning the carb by hand and it fails to work again. And if it still doesn't work after cleaning, I'll then buy a new replacement carb. I do think they're great tools, but I think you get what you pay for. If you buy a $40 unit, I don't think it's as effective as the ones that are made for larger items that could cost well over $100. I hope you enjoyed watching me clean this mower. I do plan on doing more of these Q&As, and if I didn't answer your question, please don't be afraid to ask, and I'll answer them either in the comments, an email, or in a video like this one.